Hey guys, so we are moving on to our home energy audit lab. Again, you're not going to see my face because we're going to do some math together. So this is the lab. We're going to do some more math to practice, and then you're going to do some evaluations of your own energy bill. We're actually going to skip number one because I think if you do number two, because that's the hardest one, you can go back and do number one. So we're going to do number two, A, B, and C. You're going to probably want to write small to give yourself room. I did put the information on a slide so it's easier for us to kind of see what's going on. So, ink color, let's do black. I think that's it. So kilowatt hour is not a unit of power but of energy, okay? It's how the energy company charges us kind of. So notice that again, the kilowatt and the hour are in the numerator. This one's going to also involve time. So it's going to say that your electric bill shows that you used 1,355 kilowatt hours over a 30-day period. And it wants to know how much energy we use in kilojoules. Kilojoules, okay? So there's going to be some conversion. So here's how I would do it. So I would start with my 1,355 kilowatt hours over 1. And I'm going to tackle time first because I'm more comfortable with that. So you could do 60 minutes in an hour and then go 60 seconds in a minute and that whole thing. I'm just going to skip a step, and I know that there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So hour here is in the numerator. So it's going to cancel for me. Hour is going to cancel here. Okay, I also know that a watt is a joule per second. So here's where this one's tricky for people. I have watts on top here. I had to put watts on the bottom here so that they'll cancel, okay? Now, joules per second, oh, that's wacky. Like, how does that work? You're going to want to treat seconds here. Joules per second, you can treat this second, as though it's in the denominator, kind of, okay? That's how you work with, fractions on fractions. So our seconds are actually going to cancel. We're going to take our 1,000 watts, 1 kilowatt, our 1 kilojoule, 1,000 joules. You can skip that step if it makes sense to you. I don't really want to explain it. But let's cancel our kilowatts. That watt canceled there. Kilowatts, joules cancels here. We're left with kilojoules, which is the unit that they want us to answer in. And if you do all the math, multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, you're going to get 4.878 times 10 to the 6th kilojoule, or 4,878,000 kilojoules. Okay, that's our answer. That is harder than you will see on both the quiz, like the take-home FRQ, and I almost guarantee it's harder than anything that you'll see on the exam. Let's do the second part, though, because if you can do this, then you can pretty much do any one. So now we're going to take that answer, so kind of carry it down. And we know how much energy we use in kilojoules for the 30-day period. Let's find energy used in joules per day. And we're assuming there's 30 days in the month. So we have our, I'll keep it in scientific notation, 4.878 times 10 to the 6th kilojoules. I'm going to put that over 1. Let's step it down to joules. Okay, so we have 1,000 joules, 1 kilojoule. And then we knew this was for 1 month. So now all we have to do is our 1 month. It tells us we should assume 30 days. And that's going to give us a joules per day, 1.6. So cancel, 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 cancel. We're left with joules per day. 1.626 times 10 to the 8th joules per day, or 162,600,000. Why is that number bigger than the previous if we're talking per day? Well, it asked for in joules, not in kilojoules. If it was in kilojoules, it would obviously be less. So there's our answer for part B. This is part B. Now, of course, when we talk about energy and energy bills, we are concerned with money. So let's look at the last one. So again, we're carrying our answer through. At the rate of 0.0749 dollars per kilowatt hour, what will your electricity bill be for this month? So we're going to take our 1355 kilowatt hours from the beginning of the problem. So in this case, you're not carrying it through, which is what confuses people sometimes. So 1355 kilowatt hours. And all you're going to do, knowing how much a kilowatt hour costs, it's 0.0749 per 1 kilowatt hour. These cancel, multiply it together. It's going to be $101.49 is going to be your electric bill for that month. Okay, so that's it. Try to do number 1 and then the ones on the next page on your own. And drop in and see me and Mrs. Strike if you have questions. So let me flip this back around. No. Stop.